Tim, first of all, welcome to Widnes Vikings. Obviously, you've been appointed as the new head coach, subject to the UK clearance. I just want to get your first thoughts on coming to the club and the challenge ahead.
Well, obviously, I started my career in England as a coach at KR, and we're in Championship, so I'm aware of the issues, and it's a great club. It's a first division club, a Super League club is Widnes. So I'm looking forward to working with the team, getting involved, and obviously planning the future and getting back to that status.
What was it that ultimately attracted you to this role to come here to Widnes?
Well, yeah, Phil approached me about the job through my agent, and you know, obviously, again, I think it's got the capabilities as a champ club to move forward again, back to Super League status. Everything's been great. The club administration, the board have been terrific. I was very impressed with the attitude of everyone here, so that helped win it over, really.
The club's been through a lot of changes on and off the field over the last year or so, in a transitional phase from full-time operations on the field to part-time. Do you feel this is a massive opportunity for you now to rebuild the Vikings and make something special?
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, they finished they're in Championship this year, just gone. So, you know, there's been a turnover of players, I understand, but you know, I haven't started yet officially, so I've got to, you know, there'll be lots of things to do. I'm still working out with management and so on when I start, and what if anything needs to be done. So technically at this point, I'm just looking forward to the challenge. You know, I think, as I said, it's a first division club by way of setup, and you know, the challenge will be to, over the next year or two, depending on where we're going, is to rebuild the club to that status.
You've got vast experience both here and back in Australia at representative level as well. And you mentioned earlier that you've coached in the Championship before. What did you learn from your time in this division?
That's a good question. It's surprisingly strong. I thought it wouldn't be as strong, and we were, you know, the team I was working with at the time had a lot of Super League, ex-Super League, because they'd just gone down. This is your second year in it, so you know a lot of those players have left the club. So yeah, it's a tougher competition than most people think. Might be part-time, but a lot of the players have had a lot of Super League experience through the competition. They're tough and they play tough. The grounds aren't always to your liking. You know, the clubs are at all various levels of professionalism, and you know, it is. I found the game's tougher and tougher and tougher, and the top 5 clubs generally, in 5 or so clubs in Champ, are fairly strong. They're all giving themselves a chance under the new format, because I was in Championship with the format of Super and Middle Eights. Now of having to win this, you know, finish first and go through a semis and win a grand final to go through. But it is a way of going through, and you're not having to play a Super League club to go through. But you've got to play the other 4 contenders with the top 5, and of course it's, you know, the owners and the clubs are structured, and they know they can go up, so they work really hard to build their teams towards the end of the year. So it was tough. Just looking at the new format this year, it was a tough semi-final series.
We have to mention that night 30 years ago. Obviously, you were on the opposing side to Widnes in the World Club Challenge at Old Trafford in 1989. If someone would have said to you on that day that almost 30 years to the day you'd be here now, would you have believed them?
Yes, probably not, but not for any other reason than, you know, 30 years away, I didn't know what I was doing, and I don't think anyone does. But no, it's when I say coincidental, it's probably a funny coincidence in many ways. And you've got me a couple of times with the photos around the place where the Sorensen boys and everyone was still celebrating. But no, it's, as I say, the history of Widnes is a great club, and certainly that I respect, and I'll work hard with the management to bring the club back to the status where it deserves, and that is to be back in Super League.
Obviously our 2020 squad's still in transition. There are some players signed up. Have you had a chance to cast your eye over who's here for next season?
Not really. I'm still, as I say, I'm not starting yet. There's a number of things still have to happen, but we've agreed to terms, so that sort of process will operate once I achieve visa and so on like that. So, but you know, I have had a number of games that I saw Widnes play this year. I've got a fair idea on a few of them, but those sort of things will come over the next few weeks once we get sorted with visa.
We've got a proud history of producing our own players.
Yeah.
We've got a great academy system here at the club. Is that something you're looking forward to working with?
For sure, yeah. I saw Widnes beat the combined Hull academy this year up there earlier in the year, and they played very well and beat the KR club, or the combined academy at the time, in the last dying minutes of the game. I was very impressed with a few of the younger fellas. And I've been told that quite a few of them are still here, so I made mention actually to the club. There was a couple of Widnes boys looked really, really promising. So I'm told most of those kids are still available, so we're looking forward to giving them an opportunity. Again, depending on ages and positions and things, you know, you don't want to be getting a kid busted playing front row at too young an age, but I was saying, you know, if you're good enough, you're old enough. So we'll give the academy kids every opportunity. I loved working with the younger guys too. You know, if I go back to Sydney, the West Tigers, so many juniors were in that 205 side. The Canberra side, heaps of them were juniors. Cowboys the same. Penrith in particular, Greg Alexander and all those kids were all juniors of the club. So it's good to be at a club where it has a good, strong junior competition, to be quite honest, and a good, strong academy. So, you know, might surprise everyone how many of those kids will get a run under me.
And just on a final note, we've mentioned the transitional phase earlier that the club's going through. How important is it that we continue to get the backing of our supporters so that we can be successful not only in the long term but in the short term as well? Well,
it's interesting because I'm told they're a very loyal bunch here. The KR were the same, and when they went down to Championship, the big worry for the management over there was just how many people would stay, and they all stayed. They were offered reduced terms, and they paid the full amount. So, you know, the supporter group kept that club and brought it straight back up. The supporter group is as important, if not more so. You know, the club is obviously under constraints with their budgets and so on, and I respect that and I understand that, and we've got to work within a budget. So membership is huge, supporting is huge. You know, fill a stadium of this size with a decent crowd makes for an atmosphere which the players respond to. So, you know, I'd like to think, you know, the people will get behind us, and that we'll see a good turnout for membership this year. Regular people, fans, even casual supporters. We need to get as many in and convince them to come back to the next game and the next game. So, you know, our attitude is definitely to call on the supporters, you know, to renew their memberships and come out and support the club.